Hey, what's up? It's me, Joe Arbus, and today we're going to continue on with our Ice Nova Occultist PoE Randomizer challenge. If you want a refresher on the rules, they are right here. That was the incorrect screen. And also now I've added a chat command exclamation rules, and it will say basically the same thing. Also, it's going to show the website that I'm using to generate everything. So, without further ado, let's go into Path of Exile. Been a little bit busy playing Last Epoch. Did 2 streams of that. Or 3 even. I think even 3. And yeah, died at hardcore in level 49. But enough of that. We're here for the Ice Nova Rando. So let's go back right into it. It's level 60. I think we were in Act 8, I believe. Yeah. And we did do the labyrinth last time. Yes, we did. So we got the Wild Bastion, which gives us some regen. And all that's left, I think, is to, yeah, continue on. Of course, another thing we need to do is... hello, doggy. Is the doggy broken? Let's try it again. Yeah, the dog doesn't want to do his commands. That's disappointing. What do we have here in our inventory? Feels like a millennium ago when we last played this. Right, I think we were trying to get... No, I think we replaced it with our energy shield one. Yeah, that's what happened. So, this is the beginning of Act 8, of course. We are gonna have a bit of an annoying boss fight up ahead. And I need to put all my auras on. I now have muscle memory for Last Epoch, so I just keep pressing QWE. Honestly, it's a decent game. I think it kind of lacks a little bit. It's not so much hardcore viable as, let's say, Path of Exile. But in some cases, it's even better than that. I think the game mostly suffers from just extended amounts of campaign. And enemy variety and other things. I'll probably make a video later on showing my opinion about how viable it is for hardcore builds. But at least I did have fun until the level 49. Okay, another smuggler's cache. Do have to be careful because these guys like to do a lot of chaos damage. Let's take them. And since chaos damage bypasses our shield, that could be a disaster for us. Now the high for Last Epoch, by the way, was kind of crazy. I mean, currently in the last 2 days, now it's at 90k at this hour, but in general it had even more than 120k viewers. So people are interested in that game, and I sincerely hope that it's gonna be a nice competitor, because we need another competitor. Diablo 4 isn't much of a competitor these days. Is any good? We were dealing cold damage, so I need to remember that one. But the cold damage to attacks doesn't do much for us, so let's not use this. Alright, so what we're trying to find is the next area. Afterwards we're gonna face kind of a mini-boss slash boss. I mean, he is actually quite difficult if you let him give you all the debuffs. But there are ways to mitigate that, and of course we'll see. By the way, what was our damage output? 8.7k, so honestly I would like it to be around 14k at this point. And that could have been achieved if we weren't doing this ridiculous challenge. And our skill tree, maybe kill these guys. I kind of need a refresher on how things have been going on this character. Let's kill all of them and then check. Okay, we get Superior Storm Brand, which we cannot use due to our limitations. And this guy is quite annoying because he regens life, he has extra life, which means his life regen is probably even than larger than in other cases. Because life regen by its base value is determined by the amount of health you have. Okay, let's stand out from here. And we got also Vile Bastion. What the hell was that? Is it somewhere in here? Vile Bastion. No, can't see anything. Alright, so last time I think we were making our way towards the Cyber of the Forbidden. I haven't gotten the Charge Mastery. Although we don't really care about it that much. We can sustain our power charges quite easily. Oh, I think the last thing was Insightfulness, because we got the Energy Shield Mastery here. Now, with our 2k and 2k Life and Shield, I think we need to spec more into damage. So there are a couple of ways we can do that. Yeah, and with this node over here, I now remember I'm gonna be wanting to take this whole block over here. Mainly I'm interested in the Project of Perfection. So as long as we keep increasing mana, it's also gonna increase our spell damage. And with 2% increased spell damage per 100% maximum mana, well, we would already get 28. Which is quite good. And as we keep increasing our mana, it's gonna just keep growing. And as well as we get a little bit of a spell block chance, which is always good. And I think I wanted to take something from the Mana Mastery. Probably the reduced mana cost, because our mana cost is currently quite high. But if we also have a huge base of our total mana, it shouldn't really matter all that much. Alright. So, there's the exit. Oh, how I miss this map. So simple, yet clean. Path of Exile has like each act separated really nicely, where you can see all the places you need to visit, which you haven't visited. Last Epoch is a bit of a mess in that department. Yeah, we got a Delirium Mirror, so maybe let's rush for that before we kill anyone else. Because even regular mob kills help get the Delirium levels up. And as usual, we're trying to aim for at least level 3, but it's not like a necessity. It's not like you get guaranteed better rewards from that. I think monsters from Strongbox also count, so it's kind of good to always get. We need to be careful of these exploding bulbs. I think if we can keep progressing this way, we'll get to level 3, and we can always end the Delirium encounter early, just by pressing on the fast forward button. It's not usually too dangerous, but maybe don't create too big of a pack following you. Yeah, let's run a little further so that the fog doesn't catch up to us. Yeah, the fog's right here. So maybe quickly we can get... Yes, so there's level 3, now we can just wait it out. We can even not skip it. And all the Delirium mobs, as soon as the fog goes over us, they despawn. We got a medium cluster with exerted attacks deal increased damage. Well, that doesn't sound like anything we need. What about an ironing? Probably isn't all that good. An amulet. Increased spell damage, fire damage. Has a lot of rarity. And chaos resist. But I think we really need our plus 14. Yeah. We're kind of relying on the attributes that our equipment gives right now. Alright. So then that's that. We can just keep moving on. I'm gonna have to look at my auras every once in a while. Because again, I had to change my muscle memory for the last epoch, and now I have to change it back for Path of Exile. Okay, one of these, yeah, he explodes corpses, so we kinda need to look at our ground and determine where they're gonna explode. It's a weird modifier on them because it will explode corpses even if no other corpses are nearby. Or maybe it just doesn't consume the corpse that it explodes on. So, forwarding text. I think we even have something better than that. We do have a couple of unique, not unique pieces, but like 6-link pieces in our stash tab, and I'm sure one of them was an X.
When I'm ready and not before.
It was so good to just keep using my cooldown skill. My movement skill and cooldown skill. Some of the classes in Last Epoch don't even have any kind of movement skill, so all you need to do is rely on your basic movement speed, which you can get quite high, but maybe I should stop talking about Last Epoch, because this is part of Exile. Still kinda salty that I died, that's why. Right, we get another one, but that's unfortunately lightning based, so maybe let's kill these enemies that we're gonna get a level up, but we should be good enough to face the boss. So over here on the list, great, we're going to the cauldron, and we open this valve. This valve is gonna be important for the boss battle because it resets what kind of status effect it applies to us. So currently we have the green one. This is gonna be similar to when we went up against the Nightmare. So, in one of those fights we had like 3 different debuffs, right? Well, they're the same as in here. But this one gives us less damage for each stack we get. But luckily enough, now that we have 6, we can press the valve, they all disappear, and he's gonna, in a moment, yeah, he goes and switches to the next one. This one's purple, that's the movement speed reduction. So, as long as we can just stay clear of these stacks, we should be fine, but when we get a couple of them, well, then it's just best to press on the valve, and this isn't a good situation, so I'm gonna press on it. And now we're gonna get the red one, and the red one is increased damage taken. This one is actually a lot easier to avoid, because the green one, he sends out minions, and I'm not sure if it's when you kill them or when they deal damage to you, then they apply the debuff. The purple one has these little rings that follow you around, and as you stay into them they keep adding stacks. But this one, yeah, well, maybe he starts generating a huge amount of these bulbs. But it's usually it is the longest phase you can stay into without acquiring a huge amount of stacks on you. Okay, so if I kill him from afar, it seems to be kill based, but he does seem to explode in a radius. And there's no limitation to how many times you can use the valve, so even if you get 1 stack, you can keep switching. You can keep switching it as soon as it's available, which takes only a couple of seconds. So now we get like stacks, remove it, and let's focus on the red one. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? And he's almost dead. And I can't remember, was this a Pantheon boss or no? For some reason I think it is, so let's check it out. More mana, rarity. Oh, thank you. Okay, so it wasn't. And now we got our waypoint, and we can choose. We can either go to the right side or the left side. It doesn't really matter. We have to go both directions, essentially. but I am gonna go to the right side first. It's a matter of personal preference, 'cause I'm gonna do one of the side quests that's there. Should probably get one of the masteries where 30% of the chaos damage doesn't bypass our energy shield. Although, might as well just keep stacking my chaos resistance, which is currently only left. Wait, only 4? Oh, yeah, right. 4% because we did beat Act 5 and we got minus 30 to our resistance. Okay, now that we are out here. Yes, I can pet the dog. Who's a good boy. And that breed of dogs is so misunderstood.
When I'm ready, I'm not.
They aren't, per se, attack dogs, they're bred into them. Terrible owners are at fault, not the dog itself. Okay. So, okay, good. We're definitely gonna want to get at least level 3 here, because the reward is currency. That's always useful. And luckily this map allows us to kind of go in a not so mazy direction. I think if I go here, yeah, I'm also gonna get the side objective. We need to get this sealed casket, which contains the Ankh, which in the same area we can use to further one of the subquests. Now, I'm gonna leave those guys because there's no possible way for us to get out there. I just want to continue with gathering more mobs and killing them before the fog arrives. Again, we're specifically also going on these little pustules. I don't know what to call them, because those spawn more delirium enemies. I kind of get the feeling we're not gonna get 3 levels, but that's fine, yeah. There's the fog. Rather, the end of the fog. But at least we got level 61. Cartographer's Chisel and 2 Orbs of Fusing. I think we were actually down on fusing. So I was trying to get something. Right, I wanted to get this one. But I need chromatic orbs for that. Guess I can use it. Never lucky. Okay, so let's now get this node. And first we're gonna work our way towards Prodigal Perfection. Then we'll see about Mana Mastery or getting the spell bulk damage. So now what we're looking for is a long wall that has an entrance at the end of it. So that's gonna tell us that we are gonna be close to the optional area we need to go to deliver the Ankh and complete the subquest. In Path of Exile, most maps are basically randomized in a way, but there are still certain things you can look out for to know if you're heading in the right direction. I think this is it. The long wall with one, yeah. Usually you find it when you start heading a little bit down, but I guess since the Ankh was close to the beginning, now here's like so. We have this long wall, and over here, yeah, that's the crossing. So we need to go to the resurrection site. Speak to Clarissa. There's the Ankh, some zombies are gonna spawn, and after we kill a bunch of them, this guy's gonna get resurrected. Actually, I'm not sure if it's based on how many zombies you kill. Could be just on a timer. And should be any moment now. Okay. Let's curse him, and we should be able to take care of him in no time. I think we can even stand here. Doubt he's gonna do that much damage. Yeah, we are slowly losing mana, but I mean, if we can do 65 attacks before we run out of mana, I think that's usually enough. Okay, Larissa's like, psh, you're an idiot!
When I'm ready, and not before.
One of the better jokes in the Grinch movie, where Grinch hears the echo in his cave, and he's like, I'm an idiot. And the echo's like, you're an idiot! Was it Jim Carrey who played the Grinch? For some reason I think it's Jim Carrey, but I could be wrong. Okay, technically we can look at this staff, because if it has a nice prefix or suffix fracture into it, that's fire damage. Of course it's fire damage. We could have afterwards scoured it and maybe put an orb of alchemy, and could be a good crafting base. Speaking of orbs of alchemy, now we just need to search for the exit. Nothing else left to do here. So this is a level 57 area, and we are 61, but to be honest, our XP gains aren't that bad. Also, one of the ways you can find the Ankh is that it has one of these archways. Because if you don't have the Ankh, you cannot do the Orisa subquest. It can be tricky if you don't know how to find them. The place is kind of huge. Okay, there we go, the Grain Gate. And the way this whole act works is that in the sewers we had the choice of either going left or right. We go to the right side, it's gonna be we're gonna be aiming for the Sun Temple, and on the left side there's the Moon Temple, and we need to get 2 items from both of those places, which will allow us to engage with the final boss of this act. No spoilers, in case you haven't seen it. Okay, last time. But I feel much less squishy than I did in last depot. And our energy shield is doing wonders, and even if it fails us, we still have 2k life. Okay, this guy's called chill resistant, so no point in us trying to kill him. Was there an optional thing in this area? I don't think so.
When I'm
I think
ready
the only one's
and
in
not
Act
before.
3, where you have to defeat the general, or what's his face. I think there are a bunch of guys on horses, right? Seems like we're also gonna be getting a bunch of gems leveled up at the same time. But that's usually a little bit... It's the best way to say it without using profanity. Hard on your ears. Now, do we get anything good? Don't think so. We can take a look at this item, although I doubt, yeah, especially with... I don't really care about reduced attribute requirements. You can always get those up. They don't have to be on... They don't have to take up one of your active modifiers. Suddenly I want to play Elden Ring, but I don't know why. Though, Elder... Is it the same thing? Get a Jade Flask, which gives to our evasion if it maybe has a good... Nah, increased cast speed, don't care about that. Just a second. Okay, see the really useful message. Okay, so it seems like currently, yeah, there is no optional quest here, so let's just keep going a bit upwards to find the exit. Oh no, there is the general. I thought it was Act 3. Or no, I think so, because I died here in one of my previous runs. They aren't on any of the VODs you can see, but yeah, I think I died near here because I was reading chat and didn't see that the enemy had a really nasty modifier on them. So you need to be careful actually with guys who enrages their life is lost. Because some of them can even have double of that effect. That's most prevalent in like aqueducts.
When I'm ready and not before.
Alright, so there's the exit. Let's find a waypoint and go back to town so we can get our rewards. Now, this place has always felt weird to me because it's kind of like a in-between area. Nothing really here, just a straightforward walk. Boots. Let's check them out. Okay, there's the waypoint. Let's go back.
That would just make life complicated.
Now, if we talk to her, she's gonna give us some attack jewels, probably. No, she even gives us skill point.
Yes?
Well, I'll be damned. I think this is the first time we've seen an unset ring. It's essentially a ring whose base idea is that you can have a socket in it. But you don't get benefits like resistances. By the way, what are resistances? Kinda would like to get higher fire resistance, especially since if someone puts a curse on us, then we will be less than 75% of it. But I'm not gonna take this one because it's absolute trash. 58 life. Can still craft movement speed on it, so we would gain more resistances, as well as energy shield and evasion rating. I think this is the way to go.
That would just make life complicated.
And let's travel to the hideout and apply it now. I'm gonna craft tier 2 movement speed. And hopefully the item level doesn't suddenly become 75. Though, do I want to craft tier 2? Use 2 chaoses? Nah. Let's craft tier 1. Technically we still gain 3% movement speed on that. Where is the baby? Give me that point. So now we have 2 points, which we can spend over here and here. We get more mana and more spell damage. All things that sound good to us. 5.56. Now it's 5.8. So actually the 10% increase was quite good still.
That would just make life complicated.
Mate.
Now, we do want to sell some stuff. We don't need these items. Those are all for sale. Did I want to get this one? Is there a reason? I think I wanted to craft on it. Increased energy shield so we can have a lot of energy shield on our helmet. But the problem was that we would be sacrificing 92 life. That's the only good thing that we really got from this. Well, technically, yeah, the 28 increased evasion rating plus 23 means that it has a nice base, because it rolled a 301 and it's 415 towards evasion. So it is a really good piece of gear. But I do want to at some point get a high energy shield helmet, because one of the masteries allows us to double that. Now, if we were to add something like, what was it, 45 to 50 or more? Yeah, let's just sell some stuff and think about it.
Bring me
That
back
would
something
just make
nicer.
life complicated.
Easiest way, let's go to our hideout again. Check. So we can get either 41 to 50% increased energy shield, which would be about 148. And if we would just get plain old energy shield, which we can't get. Alright, because we already have maximum, so that would be 140 times 2. Seems pretty decent. 200, and remember, since we already have a couple of points in, let's say, maximum energy shield, not in maximum energy shield. No, it is percent increase maximum energy shield, yeah. Since we have a couple of nodes that go there, I think some of them are over here, that means that 200 might as well get doubled, so we could get around 400 energy shield. That sounds a bit better than 900, not 900, but 90 life. Of course, that life also gets doubled. I think it's around double now, which would be 180, but yeah, I think energy shield's gonna work out better. So, let's craft. We get 42, a low roll. And that's the evasion. I thought it was already clicking on this. And we still get the low roll. Whoops. Alright. So, where was it? Where was it? Was it over here? Yes, it is. So we need one more level and then we can get the last mastery, which is 100% increased energy shield from equipped helmet. And we're gonna be good. But of course, before we have the chance to do that, let's go and finish this area. I think they could have done something here. So I don't think I've ever even visited the right side here. Always just you make you beeline to the top left side, where you're gonna find the exit, and that's it. This guy's taking too long. Not like I'm in a hurry, but it's just boring.
When I'm ready and not
Okay, Reign of Chaos. Did we already collect the full set? Or are we close to it? Well, we'll see. So let's take the increased energy shield. Now, if we put this helmet on, we go from 2.2 2.7. It's even better than that. So yeah, we lose a little bit of life. That's expected. But I'd say it's a pretty good deal. So that's 190 life? Yeah. Get more energy shield, but less life. Now if we focus on our damage, hopefully we're gonna be able to keep up the 20% region of the energy shield that we can get from energy shield leech. I can sell this for a chromatic. Also, I have 6 of them, so we might as well try it again. See if we can get the... What we're looking for is the 5 blue modifiers on the linked targets. If we happen to get 4 blue and 1 green, I can still use that. So whichever one comes first. Hopefully the 5 blue. Well, that's... I mean, why do I even speak? Okay, now we can keep forgetting the controls and to use the last depot. Wait. Okay, it was control. Just didn't register at first. Now we have enough for a Vol Orb. We only have 2 out of 8 for Chaos Orb. I guess we recently deposited that. Over here we're keeping our clusters. Probably rename these tabs. And these I can always, of course, bring to the Rogue's Harbor, but... yeah.
You getting there?
Okay, so let's sell this.
Don't do anything I would.
Next up we need to buy... probably not here, because we need to go to the hideout where we have a gem vendor. And not go to the crafting bench, because what we need now is added cold damage. This is the only blue one I think we... not blue one, but the green one we can use. Nothing really else really helps, right? Chance to freeze also has added cold damage. We can get a frenzy charge on killing a frozen enemy. Why would you use this one instead of this one? Let's look at the scaling. This is gonna be a good moment, right? Check things out. Yes, I was searching Twitch and Google, sue me. Let's look at it. Added cold damage. So the maximum is 152 to 228, right? And with 20% quality, that would even give us 10% more cold damage. Okay, that's one. And what was it called? It was Ice Bite. Okay, let's now look at Ice Bite. And the maximum here, 69. So it is lesser, but with each frenzy charge, does become better. Now, later on, we are gonna be able to get... We look at... Oh no, I don't have it open up. If we look at our skill tree, one of the next ascendancies that we're gonna get... Well, this is the last one, but still, Frigid Wake is gonna be one we're gonna be aiming for. And... thought it has a really high chance, yeah. It wasn't a guaranteed freezing chance, but 50% chance to freeze nearby enemies every 0.4 seconds, so they're gonna be frozen a lot. Means maybe it's better to start scaling into this spell. The Ice Bite. Plus we get some frenzy charges, and frenzy charges... What were they? More movement and cast speed, right? Pretty sure. So A or B, A or B. I'm kind of thinking of Ice Bite. Okay, so currently our damage is 7.1. If we were to replace this, it is now 7.4, and we do lose a little bit of energy shield, although it's kind of balanced now, right? Close to the same. But overall, this allows us to get a 5 link, which boosts our damage output, and as we keep increasing the levels on our Ice Bite support, it's just gonna get better and better. By the way, which level was it? It's level 1. Really? We can only get level 1? I'm guessing if you buy over here, you don't get the level scaling. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's do a little test, okay? Over here in the library, can I also buy it? I can, but it's also level 1. Now, you can actually get them higher level. Maybe it's only from quest rewards. Anyways, doesn't matter all that much, right? What we truly care about is the fact that we finally got our 5-socketed piece in. Let's get rid of this one. We are gonna be a little bit in the negatives in chaos resistance, but don't think that's gonna make too much of a difference here.
That would just make life complicated.
Let's jump into the frog's mouth, Naruto style. Yeah, I missed this chaos. The color coding system is like genius for Path of Exile because it doesn't interfere with like visually identifying which kind of enemy it is, right? But it does help you identify what kind of a threat level it is. So if you see a blue monster, probably a low level threat, but still you should look at its modifiers. But a yellow one, well, probably need to pay a little bit of attention. Unlike another game that I know. So I can already see we got Alva's Incursion. Not gonna be doing that as we saw last time. We're just not gonna be able to kill any of the mini bosses in time, which would grant us access to basically shaping the temple. Their awake can get there. This is a wall. Guessing I need to go over here. I mean, technically we can do the incursions. You can get them in Act 8. No, I'm guessing the earliest one, wasn't it Act 7 you can start getting them? But yeah, this is a map. We're gonna be using those later. Hopefully, if we do manage to complete the campaign. But in layman's terms, that is part of the endgame, right? You go into different maps, which you can modify to have different kind of outcomes. This isn't the place I want to go. Probably need to head up. I guess we can even look at it. This is a map, tier 1. We can also use this, Orbs of Transmutation. I can already do so because I'm going to do it later anyways. But we can modify them, and over here you can see this map would then have increased item quantity, rarity, monster pack size, which is actually good. You want that. An increase in monster pack size means more enemies, of course. But that also means more chances for you to drop here. But it comes at the downside, right? Monsters gain different stats. You can get debuffs yourself. And you can make them... Yeah, I had a hiccup. You can even make them into the rare maps if you use a Orb of Alchemy. Or maybe Orb of Chance if you get lucky enough. But there is also a reason why I'm keeping it at the magic tier, and we'll be able to see that once we go to the end. But in general, if you want to get some bonuses for completing the maps, you are gonna have to get them to at least a magic tier, and as we keep progressing then you're gonna need to use alchemies on them, and even at the late game you're gonna have to corrupt your maps. But for now, we can just keep them. Maps are one of those things, though, that you really probably want to buy a stash tab for, because you're gonna be getting a lot of them. Maybe not on Ruthless, but in regular leagues, yeah, they just drop like crazy. Although there are a couple of mechanics with them that means that technically you can keep just a couple of maps on you and do something else with all the duplicate maps. So this one freezes us. Do I have something that removes freeze? I don't. Oh, I'm not too worried. That could have ended disastrously, but I had faith. Now, why are they taking so long to be killed? Our damage is decent. Yeah, it's in 10k now with 4 stacks power charges. I was expecting a bit faster kill rate. Okay, I get with this guy. He is resistant. Look at that ass. What was I saying? Anyways, yeah, here we have another scepter. And take a look at it. Melee gems increased. Nothing good for us.
When I'm ready, I'm not prepared.
Now we're just trying to find the arena that will lead us to the boss, which once we defeat him will give us the Sun Orb, one of the 2 items we need to complete the set. And another map, Flooded Mine. I'm gonna keep checking boot items. Hopefully some of them are good. Not this one. Why did I pick this one up? Oh, right. And get a chromatic out of it. So we should be nearing the end of this map. Yes, let's kill this guy. Why not? He's asking for it. Okay, this is the end. Over here we have the portal. And here's the boss. Now, he's not that bad. You do have to worry about this attack and the sun orb that's in the middle, because that doesn't attacks independently of him. But his moveset isn't all that dangerous. He does spawn these swords, but if you have a skill like this that does AoE damage, it's no problem. Yeah, he also summons these beams that not just follow you like here, where he tries to reel him. Well, maybe it's not unfair. Doesn't have that great of a tracking. But yeah, they keep going in fixed directions. But he doesn't do that much damage to us. We can probably even stand still and survive. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, the beams didn't even do anything to us. Now we're standing in the fire, but it's gonna go off in a second, right? And by that time we regen all of our energy shield. What a hard boss fight. Damage sucks though. Now there's the sun orb. Let's also get the crafting recipe. One is this, traps and mines. Yes, I've been waiting for that. Not really, I don't care about it whatsoever. What do we have over here? We have evasion rating and energy shield, but our current one is a lot better. I need to go to the loo real quick, so I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Okay, we're back. So, now that we defeated Solaris Temple, we can... By the way, at which point does the green cloud disappear? Probably when we deal with the boss in sewers, right? Now, it's fine that we didn't get this waypoint, we don't really care about it, because... yeah, we're just now gonna head to the left side. Now that I think about it, one of the hardcore runs that I did have ended in Act 8. there is one of the Pantheon bosses, which can get quite tricky at times, but we are gonna be taking him on. I want some revenge.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Now this map is quite basic in a way. It is kind of a huge corridor. So all we do is just keep heading to the right and up, and we're gonna enter the bathhouses in no time. I'm guessing this would also be a good place to level up, because you know where you need to go to find all the enemies, and it's quite fast to get from one point to another. So while Bastion was regenerating, I still can't remember from where we got it. Like, is it one of our gear that gives that? Do we have any unique gear? No, we decided. Yeah. This one doesn't happen because energy recharge begins recently. We can't do that because of our randomized keystone, which means we cannot recharge energy, so we never get phasing, so that's not it. The only other thing is probably one of these bad boys. But that's Leech. I can't think of anything. Those are all power charges. Yeah, who knows? I don't mind, but still, just kind of weird. Maybe I'll look it up after stream. Now the Pantheon boss in Act 8 is probably not going to be all that easy for us, because I believe he does do cold damage. Meaning, I think most enemies that do cold damage are most likely resistant to it. So it's gonna take a bit for us to kill him, but as long as we do things carefully, should be fine. I mean, we are pretty tanky, at least for Act 8. All that matters is that we don't stand still, because that's kind of one of the mini-bosses you need to be constantly moving around, otherwise you're just gonna take way too much damage. So we're gonna implement the ye old right click left click strategy that I'm doing right now. By the way, that's trademarked by me, don't look it up, just trust me.
And not before.
Now I think we actually need to head up, but there's gonna be a wall here, right? Yeah. Maybe a little bit further down. Yeah, and this slopes to the right side. There should also be a mini boss here. Relatively close by. I think once we go downstairs, there's gonna be another stairs. Let's see. It's always the same plaza. Okay, and do we have... No. Maybe a bit further down. Apparently there isn't one. Anyways, we reached the bathhouse. Now over here we have a couple of things to do. Now this is finally, I think, the first one where The first trial we found that we actually need to solve, because I only saw the first 2 labyrinth trials. The third one, I haven't been able to do so because I died. But even before that, we also need to be heading somewhere relatively close from the beginning. Usually just head basically slightly upwards and you're gonna find, and this is it, yeah. Over here we have Hector. Really nothing to say about him. He only has essentially 2 moves. He either smash or walk. Now he's doing the walk. Afterwards he's gonna do the smash. And he does have this modifier that like he blocks projectiles while he is walking. But who cares? He's easy to defeat. Now we do need to defeat him because that way we can get these wings, which are just a side quest. Although I think that one is not for a skill point, it's for some kind of gear reward. And while I sip my beer, I'm just gonna kill this guy. Okay, so now our ice bite is level 4. Let's see the scaling on it. Still 15% chance to freeze, but I think the frenzy chance also goes up. Didn't look into it. Yeah, it goes from 50 to 69%. And there we go, we have frenzy, so deal more damage and increased attack and cast speed. Yeah, hiccup. Now we are gonna wanna go here. I guess we can do so. Let's go to the High Gardens. I was kinda thinking about doing the trial first, but let's just jump straight into it. Moment of redemption, right? Now, even traversing this place can be quite difficult if your gear is kinda lacking, because they do have a lot of fast attacking minions. They also have the ones with the spikes that explode in multiple directions when you kill them. And you'll start to notice the mechanic of the boss. It's gonna be present these tiny little balls. If they are in range of you, they're just gonna keep doing constant damage. And ooh, the Pantheon boss sure likes to spawn them. But there are ways to deal with them. Okay, I was thinking of these guys. As you can see, every time you kill them, unless they do happen to get frozen, then spikes don't launch. But in general, yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of those spikes. Now, if you don't have a good way to defend against them, then they can stack you out. So be careful jumping into multiple enemies. So, maybe we can get Charge Mastery. Or we can continue on. Yeah, let's just get... That's not even a contest. Let's just get this one, because we're gonna get... probably 8,400 damage. Even more. And it's gonna keep getting more as we keep increasing our mana. Would be nice to maybe before the boss fight reforge one of our flasks so that we can get a little bit of immunity to chill for a moment. Just kind of want to tell the enemies to chill, bruh. chill for a little bit.
That would just make life complicated.
Okay, Harrigan, what do you get for us? A Cobalt Jewel. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure what the difference between is, but I think it's based on... Red one is strength, middle one is dexterity, and this one is intelligence, and since we're rocking spells, probably we're gonna get more spells stuff on here. Book. Ugh. Never show me that again. Oh, who's that? What a fucking clown, right? But he's a vicious one, so if we do say bad things about him, he's probably gonna come to us while we're sleeping.
Watch yourself.
That would just make life complicated.
Now, over here, we can also take a look at this one's in second, no, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay, in the sixth one. This is the map tab. As you can see over here, we have one map right here. That's the one that we upgraded, and this is the new Flooded Mine map. It also goes by tiers. So there are the white tiers, yellow tiers, and red tiers. And in each tier, these are different types of maps you'll be able to find. Once we go through Act 10, finish it, we're gonna get a bit deeper in here, but that's why this stash tab is really good, because it keeps all of your maps nicely sorted. And you don't... It just saves a lot of time, honestly. Now, we need to go back here. Oh, no, no. Was explaining things and forgot the whole reason why we were actually going this place. So we have 102 Orbs of Alteration. Didn't expect that many. What do we get? What do we get? Corrupted Blood I want to keep. Ignite is kind of meh. So let's see about getting it to chill. Yeah, sure. Okay, so now we have a chill flask. Must resist Batman jokes.
Cool party.
Forget I said anything. And as you can see, these balls, now that there are two of them, they apply a debuff, and that just keeps adding damage. So multiple balls mean higher the damage we take. There's a reason why I'm saying that, like, something that sounds so obvious out loud, because you're gonna see how many balls at the end we're gonna be stacked with. I don't need to kill that guy. Let's just move a bit further so we can finally get to the place we actually care about. Okay, now's the last time I'm gonna say this, but actually one thing that is better in Last Epoch, I kind of miss, like, when you can make it so that after you use certain abilities you get haste, which means your movement speed increases. That's really cool, and I like it. So here we have this Pantheon boss. His attacks aren't that difficult to dodge. These pillars he sometimes summons are quite fine. They don't do a lot of damage, but it's these balls. So currently we have 3, there's the 4th one spawning. There are gonna be a lot more. Now, once we get him, I believe it's around 66 and then 33% HP, he goes into the pool and he's gonna summon a bunch of copies of himself. We need to defeat his copies for him to reappear. Luckily, the copies have less overall HP. You can see, like, if you look at my energy shield, how much damage I'm taking when a lot of these balls stack. Because sometimes you can't see it, but there are actually quite a bit of balls here. Now, the good thing is that you can move around so that they merge together, and so it's easier to kind of move around. Plus, the boss is gonna follow you faster than the balls can, So if I were to just go here, see, he comes here first, and the balls are slowly coming to our direction. Are they even here? Yeah. They also are triggered by proximity. That's another thing. So they're just gonna be hovering over there unless we're close enough for them to start homing in on us. Yeah, this time it's a lot easier than on my hardcore character previously. And that all has to do with the fact that we've invested really well into the defensive stats. By the way, what's our evasion? Oh, our evasion's kind of shitty, but I mean, as long as we have a big pool of life and energy shield, I think we could be like at 0% on all resistances and we should still be fine. Although, again, you see, those are what, like 3-4 balls? And we were at half health, right? And look at how many balls are currently. I mean, isn't this a bit too much? Some would say. So I'm just gonna stand over here, wait for the boss to come. Yeah, they keep also spawning, which means that we can't even sit in one corner. So we can take a look at this, the Tyrant Scepter. Cold damage, but that doesn't do much for us. Although the +1 to all cold spell skill gems is quite nice. But if it didn't have burning damage, then if it was cold damage, I could have worked with it. But other than that, plus the 21 to 31 cold damage is useless because that's for attack skills. Now over here, what do we get? I'm thinking it's this one. Forgot the name of the boss because I didn't pay attention to it, but I think it's this one we got. So, less reflect damage. I mean, kinda good, but you can mostly mitigate that by just not going in places where there is a reflected damage, and that kind of more is relevant to mapping later on. Because in the maps, you saw we can roll different stats, and not just for enemies, but also for ourselves. And one of the things you can roll is reflective damage, reflected physical damage or elemental damage. So this one, well, it is good if you do have an enemy who reflects damage. Not mandatory. So I'm gonna still keep this one probably. Now, let's head back to the bathhouse. I guess first let's talk to Hargan, because he's gonna give us a skill point. And now, let's just get this one, right? We get even then more mana regeneration rate per block spell damage. Now, currently it is in the defensive. Chance to block spell damage is 8%, so 8% more mana regen. And we can even get it higher. One of the places to do so... Was it? No, that was suppression, right? Yeah, this is suppression. I do want to block spell. I think one of them is over here, right? So this isn't block, but it's suppressed still. Damn. Where do you block spell damage? In this tree. While holding a shield, okay, yeah. And it's a caster mastery. Who would pick the last mastery, right? Oh, you can 25% chance to open nearby chests when you cast a spell. 25. Why not make it 100? Who gives a fuck about it? Seriously. Are people so lazy that they can't click on a random chest? Huh. But other than that, I guess over here. 60% increased energy shield from equipped shield is nice. It's okay, so there are ways for us to increase it if we want to. Difference between the Oh, I forgot to take the... guess I'll go back. It's gonna be faster if I forgot to take the waypoint. But yeah, the difference between walk and suppressed is suppressed, as we saw in one of the previous streams. Get rid of these guys so I can show it. It was... I'm looking for 50%. Maybe it's in miscellaneous? No. I'm guessing it doesn't show because we don't have any. But if you have suppressed spell damage, what it means is that if you get it up to 100%, it's gonna mitigate 50% of the incoming spell damage. Now that 50% is static, you can increase it, of course, but in general, by default, it's gonna be 50%. So if you have like 50% spell suppression, you have a 50% chance to mitigate 50% of the damage. Now, block, on the other hand, it doesn't work the same way as evasion, which is, well, a bit more complicated than your usual stats, but it's just a pure, like, percentage chance, right? So if I have 20% chance to block spell damage, that means I have a 1 in 5 that I'm just gonna not take any damage off of it. Which, by the way, is really good for a spell build. No, not a spell build, but evasion build. Because, yeah, we aren't so much focusing on damage mitigation, but more on just not taking damage. So let's say we have a high chance to block spell damage. Now, with our evasion, let's say we get our evasion high enough that every 5th hit is guaranteed to hit us, right? Well, in that 5th hit, then we also could get, like, let's say 70% chance that the spell is not even gonna hit us. And that part is random. So you kind of want to layer all of your defenses. Guess we were away long enough that the instance reset, so again, here's the useless mini boss. Now what I'm thinking is we're gonna finish Act 8 in this stream, and then I'm gonna be doing another stream later on where we're gonna finally get to maps and experience our first ever endgame content, at least on this stream. Stream. Who knows, I'm not yet versed enough in the Twitch lingo. Yeah, cast size, no, we don't care. All of these cast some kind of spell. If you just dash away, it's never gonna hit you. Where's the last one? Oh, this one. We do get a wand. It's minion based, but why did I even think that there's a chance that we could get something out of it? Alright, so there's the exit to Lunar's Concourse. From there, we're gonna head into the Lunar Temple. But first, let's grab the waypoint. Contain whatever. We don't care about the rest of the stuff as long as we can identify that there truly isn't anything that could be problematic. Let me check. Our current shield, what does it do, right? Plus 11 to elemental resistances. I'm guessing this is the one that's really keeping most of our resistances at bay, right? How about this one? What does it do? This is a high life one, but it is armor based, so it's not gonna work for us. Now, this one has some decent evasion. But unless one of these... Well, yeah. Yeah, one of these is a hybrid mod. Actually, if it's hybrid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why do we have full prefixes and suffixes? Evasion? Socket melee evasion. Oh, because evasion is double down. Yeah. Alright, now I get it. I'm gonna skip this mirror of dealing. I guess we can go into it and see. Nah, I don't care about weapons. Not gonna bother. That was quite anticlimactic.
When I'm ready and not
Now, if we were to head not here on the top side, but on the bottom side, we would be able to get to the boss that's at the end of the sect. But first, we do need to get to the Ulnar's temple and get the moonstone. Okay, I'm guessing before we can head into it, let's take a look at the expedition. So immune to chaos damage, but they do give us 50% artifacts. Who gives a crap about that? Rare armor though is kinda good. And rarity should be nice. And what's the one up here? Just pack size. I guess it could be good. Although it's more beneficial for like if you're on a map that already has some good increases, right? So I'm gonna do these ones and that's it. I accidentally cooked something. Yeah, I guess we're also gonna get the quantity one. Now isn't this content? A scrap metal that's used again for... No. That's again used for these guys. I can open the locker and just deposit it. What it does, yeah, it refreshes the stock. So if we were to go here, we could use one of those to refresh the stock that he currently has here. Actually, does he have anything? That's a dagger. That's a mace. And the rest is fucking disgrace. That was intentional rhyming, by the way. So we get another unique enemy who thinks he's some tough shit. Luckily for us, his story isn't from zero to a hero. So, not much of a challenge. Okay, now let's head into the temple. And again, we need to head to level 2. Not back into the Owner's Concourse, but over here. I guess we went back here so we can kill another enemy. XP is always important. And this is why you actually need a flask to deal with corrupted blood and bleeding, because before I used the flask, you could have seen that I had 7 stacks of corrupted blood, and that's gonna deal a lot of damage if it keeps stacking up, especially once we get into the end game, where enemies deal increased damage. And they deal increased damage, especially not just because it's a higher tier content, but because if we want good rewards, we're gonna have to play riskier content with making our maps either magical or rare. That stuff can kill you quite fast. So either you get something that completely nullifies stuff like bleeding and corrupted blood, or at least you have a flask in hand. And if you're lucky enough to mirror items, yeah, let's just get away from it. But yeah, if you're lucky enough to notice it in time, you're gonna be good. Okay, so our precision is going to be going up. We want to check what is my current critical strike chance. So we are at 4 stacks and it's 22.8, which is alright. I mean, I would rather get it closer to 50%. And what is our multiplier? It is 188%. Alright, so it's... I'm guessing something is giving us a little bit for higher multiplier, because the base value is 150.
But then last epoch it is 200%, so last epoch is better for crit builds. Shut the fuck.
They also have way less chances for you to scale your critical damage. Not critical damage, but critical strike chance. No. I did say I'm not gonna be talking about last epoch anymore. So, here's the waypoint and the access point to level 2. You may find this place somewhat familiar, right? Yeah. Again, like, apparently Act 6 to 10 takes place a couple hundred... No, not 100. Either it was like 2 to 3 years, maybe 6, later, or a couple hundred years later. Probably a couple of years later. Otherwise. Nah, but then why is everything so outgrown? Who knows? Essentially, it's been a long time since we've been here, and shit has been changed, right? Now, this place, which was red before when Piety was active, is now blue. Oh my god. Much innovation. They just did like a basic redecoration of this place. Maybe they didn't do anything. Maybe it was red, but then they found the moon orb and they placed it and it acted like an LED light, right? Made shit all glowing blue. That could actually be a decent lore reason, right? Not everything has to do with like powerful stuff. We just found this artifact and it made our interior halls better, right? What you... okay, well, yeah, it does shoot some projectiles, but that's like, in America, what kind of security system doesn't do that, right? Probably have door cam cameras, which, if you identify a threat, it pulls out an AK-47 and just mows down everyone, right? Pretty sure there's company for that. Okay, another shield, but that's minion based, so we're gonna completely ignore that. So we're not a minion, we're alpha. Our character has been watching Andrew Tate a lot, and we know how business gets done, right? Okay, we can still head further. Again, this is just like in Act 3, it's one of the larger maps. But now that we have this, do we want to get the reduced mana cost, or there's something better? Regen a little bit of mana, I think that's kind of pointless. Recover when you use a guard skill. I'm not using a guard skill. 10% of damage recouped as mana would be good, but that doesn't actually help us mitigate damage. What it means is, if we take 100 damage, we still take 100 damage, but 10% of that will just be recouped as mana. So, 10% chance to recover 10% of mana. I wonder if it's based on your actual mana or unreserved mana. Because then that could be kind of good, right? 170 mana, 10% chance. I'm guessing maybe. Yeah, the cost is now 45. Let's reduce the cost. And that gives us now 40. Especially if we manage to find a 6-link item, then all hell's gonna break loose, because, oh god damn, it's gonna be like 80 mana per cost. And by that point we probably scaled our cast speed so that we can do one of these attacks. What are we doing? 0.42? Maybe it's gonna be halved by that. Who knows? You know that creepy moment? When you're just like, chilling playing a video game, and at the corner of your eye, you suddenly notice that your cat is sitting there in the middle of the room, watching you, contemplating. What is he thinking about? What is she thinking about? Depends on the gender. Are they just curious about what you're doing? Are they hatching a plan? Do they have an overlord that they communicate with? So that they all the cats can follow the Grand Master plan? You never know. Right? Just like you never know, like, your cat suddenly starts looking at weird things on the wall. And you're like, okay, so does that actually confirm the existence of ghosts? Or is my cat, like, suddenly interested in my wall decor? You never know. Because when you ask them, you get the generic response of meow. And that could mean many things. I don't have a cat decoder, so I guess I will never know. That's why I always sleep with one eye open, and that eye is looking at my cat. Anyways, we've reached the portal. So, time to get the moonstone. Again, I really simplified. He only does these few bow attacks, and he has this kind of similar to our movement skill, the Frost Blink attack. Other than that, he's kind of useless. I mean, this is the protector of the stone. Come on, man. But you ran out of money to hire some decent people. Already have health. Okay, we get anything cool. We get the moon orb, but that's not cool anymore. Although before we go, let's just get the crafting recipe. It's minions. Yes! Finally. Now I can recreate the movie. I can steal the moon, which I technically did. Oh, it was a moon orb. But it's close enough, right?
Hello.
Yeah, don't need this. Rest of this can stay, because we're gonna just deposit it. Let's also deposit a couple of these scrolls, because at this point we get them frequently enough that we don't need to be carrying around that many. And now that that's done, we can head back to Ominous Concourse and head to the last map that is in this place. We'll also lead us to the boss. So from the waypoint, we just head down. And really soon we should be able to see the exit. Yeah, let's do the essences, why not? Again, if we manage to get to the end game, right, maybe we find a piece of gear that we can reforge with some stats to be thing that could be useful for us. Although, I don't think this is gonna work. They're resistant to ice and they regen health, so bye-bye, have a good life. I'm gonna enjoy seeing... well, not seeing, but at least knowing that you're gonna die nice death once this area reaches the 15-minute mark. What do we have here? We get expedition logbooks. Honestly, don't know what those are. We do get a unique chest potential. Talisman could be good. So yeah, let's do this and this. And what do we have here? Jewelry, fine. And yes, we can do that because the modifiers on it aren't that crazy. Now again, as long as we kill the majority of the enemies here before the next one spawn, we aren't gonna get surrounded. Well, unfortunately for us, some of these are magic mobs, probably a modifier that I didn't pay attention to, but seems like we can take care of them with no problem. Didn't get anything from the unique chest. Sad. Not guaranteed, but I think it's a higher chance to get something. So what do we get here? We do get a talisman. Okay, good. Scrap metal. Or maybe was this the unique chest? Nope. Okay, we get a wall orb. Those are gonna be useful if we manage to get to red maps, and I don't see any way we're gonna be able to do so. Only way that could happen if it's suddenly GG's like, hey, you know what? It's our... How old is it? Has to be at least 10 years old. Let's say a 12-year, 5-month anniversary, and we decide to give everyone 30 extra skill points. Then we could make a build. And then I would still die because I don't know how to play the endgame. I know how to play the maps, but I've never... I've done a couple of Maven invitations, but other than that, nah. Okay, let's go into the Sky Shrine, and once we deposit items over here... Excuse me. Then it's time for the boss. Yeah, let's go. Solaris and Lunaris. We do want to focus on Solaris first, because they're the annoying one. Now at first they kind of battle against each other, but then they pussy out and leave us in a kind of 1v 1.5 versus 1. No, 1.5 would mean that I have additional backup, so 1v 1.5. And they're gonna alternate. Also changes the scenery, which is quite cool when you see it first on your first time, but there's not much to this boss. You do have a couple of attacks you need to worry about, but all of them are... Is there a boss that doesn't work this way? Like, just stand next to their asphalt, right? And you'll be fine. Though, lore-wise, we don't actually know if they have an asshole. They are statues, so why would they? So stay close to their buttocks. Their ceramic buttocks. Maybe not ceramic. No, ceramic doesn't make sense for a statue. Or does it? Well, while I'm confused over here, we're dealing decent damage and they're not going to be able to kill us anytime soon. Even if I stand in the fire, you can see that I'm regenerating most of my energy shield. Yeah, this attack can be quite devastating, because it dealt about 3/4 of our energy shield. If we keep moving around, there's not much they can do. So, in terms of like boss, yeah, if you're unprepared, they can do massive amounts of damage, but that applies again to any boss, right? It's kind of like if you're not prepared for a job interview, your job interview is gonna suck. Well, that's not a given, of course, right? Because maybe you suddenly think of a great way to represent you on the spot. But yeah, if you aren't prepared, then most likely it's gonna suck. So now that we killed Solaris, we can just focus on the nurse. There's not gonna be a phase change, because who's gonna change, right? The dead? Well, maybe, because we seen a bunch of ghosts here. But these are statues, so no need to worry about ghosts. Anything good we get? Guess we can check the amulet. This one is also not only the final Act 8 boss, but it also acts as a Pantheon boss. So now we can choose between either Lunaris, which gives physical damage reduction for each enemy nearby, as well as movement speed. Don't really care about it. And Solaris, which gives a reduction while there is only one nearby enemy. Guess it's good for bosses, right? And 20% chance to take 50% less damage. And a lot of these, you kind of want to focus on the end game when you can capture more bosses and get the additional perks. But for now, yeah, we're just gonna keep on with the stun. And we're gonna get 2 more minor gods, but I doubt they're gonna be all that useful. So let's head to the Blood Aqueduct, the ultimate place farm for multiple reasons. And one of those reasons is because Aqueduct is so good at just running around and killing monsters, because you have to basically alternate between the left and the right side, but other than that, you just keep running straight and you face more monsters. So you don't have to search for them, you always know you're going to the right path to get to the end, then reset the instants, and then take hatred, because that's cold damage. But yeah, areas that rely heavily on spawning monsters without you having to look for them are really good for leveling. And the other major benefit is because of divination cards. Believe it or not, divination cards are dropped not just purely randomly, but they're also dropped depending on where you are. And one of the most popular pieces of gear you're gonna find here comes from a divination card, the Tabula Rasa, which is a 6-linked item with white sockets. It's a chess piece, and it is a great leveling tool. It can be equipped at any level, I think. And yeah, it's a leveling tool because at first, before you get any alternatives, when you get far enough that you can actually drop 6-linked items,
When I'm ready,
you can just already get your main skill with 6 support gems and breeze through the campaign, right? The downside of it is, of course, that, well, even though it has 6 links and all of them are white sockets, you take care of your gems, but the armor itself doesn't give you any benefits, right? So if we look at our one, right, we get evasion rating, we get energy shield, we regen life, we get resistance, right? All of that stuff completely moot on an item like that. So that's kind of the downside, but while you're leveling through the campaign, it doesn't really matter if you're able to kill all the enemies so fast due to the sheer amount of support gems that you have, who cares about evasion, right? Plus it's just one piece, right? You can still stack everything on all the rest of your pieces. But long term, you're gonna want to switch it out. It's not a long term solution. So most people usually, when a new league starts and they're playing trade league, they get to the Sect, go inside Wild Aqueducts and keep farming this place to get enough divination cards to get to Rasa. I think it's around 8 or 9 cards. So it's not even that horrible to get. Although I haven't seen one in such a long time, so maybe that's been changed. But just remember how it was in the past. But on multiple characters although no, that was in Ruthless. Yeah, most of those were Ruthless characters and their divination cards don't exist. But maybe it is still quite common to get those cards. Usually I think you get about one every 1.5 runs or so. Depends on your luck. Yeah, especially if you're at the start of the league, those can cost some decent currency. Can't remember how much, but decent. Because imagine how many streamers are out there who just want to get to the end of the act and to show their viewers the new league mechanic, right? And none of these interest us. Now we're currently level 64 and this place is 61. I've seen people stay up even until 69, which is, first of all, it's nice, and second of all, man, even though the XP scaling falls off, just a really nice place to start, like getting your character ready for the end game. And level 61, you do get level, I think it's level 55 gear mostly that you get, and that's the decently rolled gear.
When I'm ready and not
But
before.
sadly, we're gonna have to end it for now. We made it into Highgate. Hey, would you look at this place? I think we've seen it before. So because of that, I think it's time to end this stream. We did finish one act, and I think today, technically tomorrow, we're gonna be finishing up with Act 10. Unless Kitala destroys our ass, but in general, yeah. Thank you for joining me today. You've been with Joe Arbus and my Out of Exile Randomizer challenge. I hope to see you next time, and until then, goodbye.